Have you ever found yourself in a relationship where everything seems to be amazing, outstanding, like a dream come true? And then there is this focus on the 3 or 5% that don't work out well, that create drama, and then that becomes the main focus. If that is something that you experienced in your life or know of someone who is experiencing that, this episode is exactly the one for you.
Beyond the masks we wear and the roles we play lives a deeper truth about human connection. The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. In Raw and Real in Relationships, Patricia, Lindner, and Richard Morden guide listeners through authentic conversations about every connection that shapes our lives. Honest insights for transforming every relationship through self-discovery. Because when you truly know yourself, everything else changes.
Today we are talking about where attention goes, the energy flows, and how you could stop yourself from getting overwhelmed by this 3 to 5% of drama that run your relationship and your life. Richard, I'm so glad that we are talking about exactly this topic, because I could talk about that in depth, and I experienced that myself. And I always wonder, why are we human beings like that? We could be so happy. We could be just celebrating the relationship and life. And then those 3 to 5% of something that is like this needle that is stinging and that is like growing to big drama. Why are we doing that? Do you have experience with that?
Yes, because we are so committed to, say, a relationship or a happy relationship, and we put all our hopes and energy casting in a relationship, and it's we have and we're caught in so much sometimes. Oh, we have so much in common, which is great. And I go back to, or I like to create. What do you want to create together, and what else? What stopped you from that creation? Because again, the 3 to 5% could be a health issue, could be something else. It could be, a lot of times it's an emotional issue or a mental issue that's become, or a personality trait. Sometimes people have an instant in life and it goes on and becomes part of their personality, and they want to dwell in there, because it's how much are you willing to, in some sense, put up with for that 5%, because this is so good, and who is unwilling to change? Because we talk about that. Do you want to change this? Do you want to come, bring that 5% up in sense of, through health measures or some support to really not, where we're not, it does become such an anchor because you have so much time trying to avoid it or dreading it. And as soon as you back into this pattern, it's like, oh, we're in here again. It's like a sinkhole in our emotions and our mentality. So what do you want to do with that? Do you want to find a way to just put up with it? Do you just endure it? Or do you want to facilitate where both of you together move out of that 5% and have a really strong, sustained relationship with good qualities of experience, growth, and enjoyment?
Yeah. And I love that you said the both of you. So anyone who's experiencing that, I think there are so many approaches out there, and I've tried and tested them all, or probably lots of them, lots of them. I just wanted to use the word all because it feels like, hey, yes, let's just not focus on the 3% and let's just focus on the positive things. And as soon as you stop talking about the 3 to 5 negative percent in relationships, and I know about lots of clients of mine whom I gave this piece of advice, do not talk about that. Just stop talking and bringing that up again and again and again, because you add so much attention to that. But then in the end, if it is only you, so that is my experience, and I wonder what your experience is with that. In the end, it feels like you are avoiding that just on a surface level, because deep down,
It has big weight.
it has such a big weight, and it is like, oh, let's act as if. And that is what I experience. It's like, okay, and then I put a positive spin to the conversation and I find the good in the bad. And then all of a sudden, it's like I'm a pressure cooker and the bad comes out.
When you're in that situation, and I've been through this relationship too with a partner who had an alcohol dependency. So it showed up and it was more than the 5%, but it was there. But so you live your life around it. You live your life from that. So it's always a weight that pulls you down. So that relationship is no longer there. So I'm free of that situation. But again, it becomes such a pattern of avoidance, and it takes up a lot of your life. That 5% can overshadow so much of the good things in your life because it has so much weight depending on the volume of what that 5% is. The emotional discord, the isolation, the loneliness, maybe the anger or some sort of distortion in their viewpoint. And unless the other person is too willing and able to facilitate that in some measure, to relieve themselves of that so they can, feel better about themselves and sense of emotional, physical health quality, that 5% is always going to be there. So again, whether you have to draw the line or create some sort of rules or boundary how to deal with that, it's never going to change unless someone, either you or the both of you together, force a change.
Co-creation. It is a big struggle to just try to solve the issue all by yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one person may have it, but it'll take two of you to come out of it. And again, what do you want to create from there? So it's not just okay. It's not just putting a Band-Aid over it. It's building a foundation under it. Like mental, emotional wellness or physical wellness, that you can from there move into a greater experience in your life of your relationship. It doesn't just have to stay in this little container. So because life, that we came here to experience life, and I think we all want to have experiences that continue to evolve and expand and grow inside of us. So those relationships become very fulfilling, but it also helps us be more fulfilled within ourselves through this relationship.
Exactly. And I just had on my mind, I don't want to walk into a far distant place that is connected to exactly that, but it just came to my mind, and we have been talking about that, Richard. Oftentimes, there are only 5% that are amazing, and the rest is really a mess, and still people stick to the relationship and they don't feel like they want to change anything, even though they feel so stuck and drained and maybe like buried alive. But they hold on to the 5 good percent. That is the total, like the opposite of what we are talking about now. I just want to paint this picture of how good it is when 95% are amazing, and how easy it is to find a space of conversation and co-creation, and to see people living in relationships that are no longer supporting them, but they stay in this comfortable, uncomfortable place or zone of, I don't want to say it's comfortable, it's painful,
It's,
but
it's,
familiar.
it's familiar because if it's familiar, you'll stay in it, even if it's painful, because it's maybe what you grew up with. This is what
Yeah.
you've accustomed to. But it's for those who want to seek more and find ways to facilitate themselves and others into this. Again, a stronger base of a relationship, not just where it has these dips on the end when this situations happen or family events happen that create this huge um, disconnect.
Yeah.
So if you want more, like, reach out to us. There's when we both do this work with people. We both have worked on our own relationships in this aspect. So is there something in your life that's out of whack? That one piece is out of whack is causing so much, like a tsunami down the rest of your relationship. It's like a ripple on a blanket. You give the blanket a rip, and it ripples all the way down to the end. And this is what this 5% does. It causes ripples through our relationships. And you want to smooth that out and turn it into a nice incline of increasing your own ability to have dialogue and success in your life and well-being.
I love the words you used, and I still want to mention that we are about to create this container of raw and real connections, because that is needed more than ever in relationships, in loving relationships, but also in the broader social aspects. And we totally stand for this big vision where we help people to connect on a deep level, raw and real, and where you matter, because the best and most important relationship is the one that you have with yourself. Always bear this in mind. That is the most important and healthy thing. And life is not meant to live under pressure, but you are meant to live a life of happiness and fulfillment. And we are here to facilitate that.
You just said, highlight the most important relationship you have is with yourself. And I think that's even in with others is developing this inner relationship, because that's what flows into our other relationship.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Raw and Real in Relationships with Richard and Patricia. We appreciate you so much, and we can't wait to connect with you again in another episode, or maybe in our container or in our one-on-one supports. Bye for now.
Remember, transformation isn't about perfection. It's about showing up authentically, one conversation at a time. Every relationship in your life has the potential to become deeper, more honest, and infinitely more fulfilling. But it starts with the courage to drop the mask and meet yourself exactly where you are. The work isn't always comfortable, but as Patricia and Richard demonstrate in every episode, it's always worth it. When you learn to love yourself fully, everyone around you feels the difference. Join us next time for Raw and Real in Relationships.